Chile, Japan, New Zealand, just some of the countries devastated by major earthquakes in recent years. On Canada's west coast, there's a lot of talk about the big one, but researchers are now warning that even if that quake misses Vancouver, the aftershocks could be dangerous. The CBC's Kirk Williams explains.
In the world of earthquakes, these were massive. A magnitude 9 megaquake hit Japan in 2011. The resulting tsunami claimed more than 18,000 lives. A year earlier, an 8.8 quake struck off the coast of Chile, killing more than 500 people. Hundreds of kilometers from the epicenters, the cities of Tokyo and Santiago were relatively unscathed. Catastrophe averted? Maybe.
Tokyo and Santiago were spared the strong shaking of this earthquake, but they're not out of the woods. The hazard beneath those areas has probably risen, and that's information that we should be, in a sense, taking to the bank.
That's because years later, there is twice the seismic activity in Santiago than before the quake. In Tokyo, there is 3 times as much. Scientists worry that ducking a big one far away may not prevent you from getting hit by a damaging aftershock later. In an article published today in Science, the authors warn other great cities within the reach of earthquakes such as Vancouver, Taipei, Manila, Lima, and Jakarta could suffer a similar fate. Canada's building codes are designed to make sure buildings remain standing after a major quake, so people can escape to safety. But what about withstanding repeated big aftershocks?
All the modern building codes do not necessarily consider the aftershocks as part of the design process, because it has been considered traditionally that the aftershock is not as significant as the main shock.
Scientists point to the deadly aftershock that hit Christchurch that occurred 5 months after another quake nearby. It showed that not enough work had been done factoring in the hazards of aftershocks. Canadians are now assisting New Zealand in reviewing those hazards.
Lessons that are learned from Christchurch will then be folded back into Canada's national seismic hazard models.
Those hazard models will be used to determine just how strong buildings such as schools and fire halls need to be built to withstand a megaquake, or possibly a series of major aftershocks. Kirk Williams, CBC News, Vancouver.